Now, though, to a story which starts in tragedy and ends in inspiration. Elliott Holmes was a pupil at Mepham School and died 4 years ago when he was 19. Very sadly, he took his own life. But now his family from Isted Rise are raising money to pay for private mental health therapy for school children who they say are waiting far too long for NHS support. Their work has already helped nearly 200 students in the Gravesham area, and they've told BBC South East Leanne Rinney that they're determined something positive should come from Elliott's death.
In just a few months' time, Kerry and Peter would have been celebrating their son's 23rd birthday. Instead, they come here now to remember him at a place where he used to sit and watch the sunset with his friends. Elliott Holmes was just 19 when he took his own life in 2020. He'd suffered with mental health issues as a young boy, which got worse during the pandemic. After his death, his family set up a memorial fund which gives young people in Gravesham direct access to private mental health counselling.
I tend not to ask a lot. Just when children refer, I just find it hurts too much and just brings everything back. Put it into words, just feel numb. Just wish they were here, but
I think there is too many barriers to access support for young people. If we've helped maybe save one life, that would be absolutely incredible. If we've changed one person's life significantly, then all of this, what we've done, would have been worth it. All of it.
Peter and Kerry now work with local schools, hospitals and even the police to signpost young people and their families to their service.
We've seen a rise in the number of students that are experiencing challenges, particularly post-pandemic. And again, we have support mechanisms in place in school, but the service that Peter offers with professional counsellors, it's really easy for students to access, it's quick to access.
In a statement, a spokesperson from the Department of Health said they are investing an additional £2.3 billion a year in NHS mental health services, and say last year they helped more than 700,000 children and young people.
Leanne Rinney then with that report, and in it you heard from parents Kerry Holmes and Peter Scutts, along with Associate Head Teacher Dan Walton. And I'm pleased to say that Peter, Elliott's stepfather, joins us on the Wake Up Call this morning. Thank you for being here. First question, important question, how are you?
Yeah, fine, and thanks for having us on the show, Anna.
It's a pleasure, and it's brilliant work that you're doing. Obviously, you've been through such this traumatic event in your family life, but you've kind of risen to the challenge, haven't you? And you're using that to try to help others. And I know we often talk on this show about the long waiting list if you need mental health support from the NHS. So you've said, right, we're going to do something about that, haven't you?
Yes, well, I think we've experienced personally that the numbers have doubled over the last 6 years or so, and the NHS are just overwhelmed. So if you want to do something about it, you've got to do something in your own community, and the impact can be felt very quickly. So ring-fencing it to Gravesham has made a huge difference and engaged the community.
Yeah. You mentioned demand surging during the pandemic as well. It was such a difficult time, and we just don't have the capacity, do we, in the NHS? I mean, they're brilliant when you get to them, but you just can't get to them.
Well, it's reached the point now, the only way you can get help is when you're in crisis. They're trying to filter out because it is so overwhelmed. And so when early intervention is key, is vital, and catching the young people early makes such a difference. We really have to do something to get that support in early with the young people.
And I noticed in the report it was saying that you kind of work across the board. Schools is an obvious one, but you also work with hospitals and the police. Did you find it was important actually to make this multifaceted?
Yeah, well, it's all come about by engaging the community. So Kent Police, for instance, I briefed 5 of their teams in back in November to carry out cards. So when they come up against an appropriate situation, they will hand those cards out to the young people. They've been absolutely brilliant. We've got a sponsored Three Peaks Challenge in May and June, and 12 of the officers are actually going to raise funds for us.
Brilliant.
So it's that sort of engagement that we're getting. Same with like the leisure centres. They're offering post-counselling support now for clients who come out of counselling. And they're also raising funds. So everyone's playing a part in this. You know, we've had Rotary clubs, bowls clubs, golf clubs, golfers. It's just been quite incredible and overwhelming, the support we've had. In fact, we helped 105 young people last year. 83% of that was funded by the community. So 85 of those young people got support just as a direct result, and therefore of the community, and therefore they can see that impact. We've had just amazing feedback from parents, schools, everyone. It's just been quite incredible and very humbling that people have got behind this. But I guess it's affecting so many families now.
Really is. It really is. I can't help thinking that Elliott would be so proud of you and what you're doing, and how many people you're helping who just need that support. We can't do it on our own, can we? We need somebody to step alongside us when we've got mental health problems.
Yeah, I mean, what we've done is we've put a simple vehicle in place for young people to access private counsellors. I quickly realised that this was not utilised enough, or if at all, locally by the NHS. And so we've deployed local counsellors. So while you've got young people on waiting lists, we're literally putting together with counsellors and getting them help fast. But the numbers are just going through the roof now. And whilst we've kept up with this for 2 years now, since January, the numbers have tripled. And we're just not going to be able to cope with those numbers unless we get a big corporate funder or two on board. We need businesses to get behind us now. The community are doing brilliant. They're organising their own events. But we really do need a couple of corporate funders to help us with this. And if they're local, they can see the impact they're making. We're giving them the opportunity to give back to their own people in their own borough. I mean, the young people are our next generation. We need to invest in them. Otherwise, we're just going to go on a huge crash in a few years' time with the way this is going.
Absolutely. So if anyone has got a business in the Gravesham area and they're listening right now, presumably they could reach out and connect with you and really make a difference.
They could make a fantastic difference. It's costing sort of on average about £450, £475 to put a young person through. Right. So they can directly see the impact they will be making. Even if we got £1,000 grant, they're going to be helping at least 2 people. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely. Well, it's brilliant work you're doing. Let's hope that we can get those funds going forward and help more people and just keep up with that demand. As you say, the demand is there, but people are brilliant as well, and they've really risen to the challenge so far. So let's hope that will continue. Peter, thank you for being here, and please do keep in touch with us here at the Wake Up Call. That's Peter Scutts, Elliott's stepfather, talking to us about what they're doing to help young people to get access to that mental health support straight away, not waiting on a waiting list until it gets to a crisis point, but getting the help they need at the point that they need it. If you want details of organisations which offer mental health support for you, all you need to do is go to bbc.co.uk/actionline. That's Action Line, and there's lots of details there for you. Or if it's easier, you can call 0800 155 998. You'll get recorded information free on that one. And by the way, if you didn't manage to scribble those details down in time, then you can always get in touch with us here at the Wake Up Call, and we'll make sure that you have them.